Junior James, a young, hard-working Antiguan, was living an ordinary life until a sudden diagnosis changed everything. His heart began to falter. Facing a life-threatening heart condition, Junior's future seemed uncertain. But through the compassion of the Calvin Ayre Foundation and the expertise of doctors at the University Hospital of Martinique, hope began to beat again. This is the story of resilience and a second chance. Stay tuned with us as we speak with Junior James about his journey from surgery to surviving. All right, so we're sitting with Kate and Junior, the man of the hour. Thank you guys so much for joining me on the set. Welcome to InspAyre. So first, let me begin with Kate. And we were speaking off camera a while ago, and you told me that you had a very interesting story about your backstory, how you came to Antigua. Can you just tell me a little bit about yourself?
Hi, my name is Kate James. I've lived here for 25 years. I sailed in on a 50-foot Beneteau, started a charter business, sold that business after some years, and came back to what I was doing in the UK, which was working with special needs children. I've been working for Friends of the Care Project for 2012 and reaching out into the community and helping those that are profoundly challenged and their families.
All right, that's a pretty interesting story. What was the name of your boat?
Jabberwocky.
Jabberwocky.
Jabberwocky is still running around Antigua.
I think I've heard the name of that boat during all of the sailing regattas.
Adventure Caribbean, they're still going.
Oh, awesome, yeah. Awesome. And do you look back at that with nostalgia?
It was a beautiful life. It was a wonderful chapter of my life, but I was working 7 days a week. But also now, this new chapter is very rewarding because I'm doing what I did in the UK. And to be honest with you, as much as I loved sailing, that was to fulfill somebody else's dream in the past. And my dream is doing what I'm doing now. And it's very special.
Yeah, very special. And of course, you have your very special husband sitting next to you, but I'm going to talk a little bit about his backstory. And then you both can tell me from your points of views how you guys met. I want to hear how you fell in love from your perspective and his perspective. Junior, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm Antiguan, born, raised Antiguan. I met Kate through a co-worker of mine, and it just happened.
It just happened organically. So somebody played matchmaker, and then
I think my colleague actually tricked me into.
He tricked you. That was a good trick.
Meeting her, yeah.
And the rest is history. But what did you used to do before?
I actually, my first employment was in the hotel hospitality business. I've worked at Oxford. My first year after leaving school, I've spent 10 years there. And from there, I thought that it would have been my lifelong career, but it changed path. But however, I did 10 years, and from there, I got moved up in the organization, got training abroad. I did a program in the Netherlands at Hotel School The Hague. At the end, you get a diploma in international hotel management. Okay. Then from there, I did a couple of other jobs. I managed a nightclub.
You managed a nightclub, Junior?
Yeah,
wow, really?
Ribbit nightclub.
Ribbit?
Yeah, for about 3 years.
Back in the day, I used to go to Ribbit.
It was something that I never planned. At the end of the day, the experience that I gained was useful. I was able to carry it on to other roles, other employment or the experience. So it's definitely
awesome.
And then my last job was I worked with a development company out in Emerald Grove. Of course, they had particularly two celebrity homeowners there. And Andrei Shevchenko, he was a football player. He had a property there, and Silvio Berlusconi, former president of Italy, or prime minister of Italy.
Yeah.
He passed, unfortunately, but yeah, able
So
to see.
you've done quite a bit with your life in hospitality and nightclub management and all of that.
Yeah,
so you've done quite a bit.
So I've seen.
So, Kate, Junior said he was tricked into meeting you. Tell me your point of view.
Well, he's correct. He's correct. I believe in karma. The story goes that I have a very good friend, Abby, who was Junior's work colleague, and basically we would be at her house for a housewarming party, and Junior didn't even look at me or talk to me for the entire party. That was okay. And then again, it was her boyfriend at the time, who's now her husband, and she had another party, and Junior was there, and he spoke to me for about all of 5 minutes. And then somebody interjected in the conversation, and that was lost, and time was going, so I had to get home because I had work the next day. And I just said to her, why is it that the nice people that you like and are interested in don't even give you this slightest look at or want to talk to you? And so she set up that we were all going to go to C&C Wine Bar on a Thursday night, which obviously in the day was a good thing to do. But all of a sudden she couldn't make it. Abby. So Junior and I ended up meeting, and we had a wonderful, we talked, and what was really inspiring for me was that Junior was into all different genres of music, and he could talk about world events, and we did have some really in-depth, wonderful conversation. But neither of us thought that either of us were interested until it rained and poured in Antigua for 3 days solid. So
What year was this?
2013.
Yeah.
And it rained and rained for 3 solid days. So Junior had to cancel all his plans of walking across the island. You know, there's a walk from, what was that walk?
Yeah, we were supposed to be doing a walk from, I think it was Hawksbill to Half Moon Bay.
When did you guys get married?
11th of May 2018.
Yeah,
I commend you, Junior, because
which
most
was
men would go,
The way it came about was another surprise.
really?
We've got to say thank you to Paddy Pendergast from Itchy Feet,
Yeah.
because he was at a function for Friends of the Care Project, and he said, if you guys want to get married on the 11th of May, I will provide you the band. So I looked at Junior, and Junior looked at me, and he said, why not? So again, the stars are in line.
So everything is just predestined. Everything is just in alignment for you
It was
both.
beautiful. But the day the sun was shining.
That was amazing, yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah, awesome.
really nice night. And we ended up, our celebration was done over at Dennis's.
Yeah.
May.
This is down at Friars.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
It was
Beautiful backdrop.
Aw.
The backdrop was amazing. We had concordas on pan, and then later on it was Itchy Feet.
And you just partied into the night. That sounded great. That sounded like a great
a week of
celebration.
partying, wasn't it really? We had the pre-wedding party over
Aw.
at Prickly Pear. And, yeah, it was very special.
Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad you had a wonderful, wonderful celebration. And then we're now going to segue into a little bit of an emotional aspect of things. Junior, we know that you had open heart surgery, and all the health challenges that would have materialized later on in life. But tell me a little bit about the early stages of when you started having those complications. When did you notice?
Well, actually, strange enough, never knew that I had any problem. So growing up as a kid, I would do anything, play a lot of sports. I tried to get medical insurance, and at the time Clico was one of the insurance companies. Their doctor at the time was Dr. Fuller on Long Street.
Yeah.
So I did the appointment, got there. Dr. Fuller was doing all my vitals until he put the stethoscope on my chest, and he actually asked me to listen. I said, "What's wrong?" He said, "You have irregular heartbeat." I said, "What's the matter?" And then he said, "Well, don't be alarmed. It's really slow but steady. But I'm picking up something that is very regular." And he said, "I think you have a heart murmur." I'm like, "What is a heart murmur?" I was about 20, and that was about 1990 thereabout.
Yeah.
And Dr. Martin was the sole cardiologist on the island. He got me to do EKG. At that time, I had no clue what an EKG is, right? So it's a graph that mimic your heartbeat.
Yes.
He said, "Look, you don't have to worry about it now, but when you're 20 years, when you get older, you may have to correct the issue. As you get older, it gets worse." And he also added, "No insurance are going to pick you up."
Oh, wow.
I was like, "Really?" He said, "Yeah." And that holds true.
Yeah, because it's a pre-existing condition.
Pre-existing condition. He said, in the States, a murmur is not a big deal. You get insured, it's not a big deal. But he said, it's population size.
Yeah.
And apparently they have more knowledge and research into these sort of things. So I couldn't get insured. So from age 20 until to date, nobody wants to touch me. During our conversation at the onset, he said, "Don't worry about it." I said, "Do I have to stop doing what I'm doing?" He said, No, you can continue to do what you're doing. It's not a big deal. Continue doing something and so forth. And that was my knowledge or experience of what a murmur. So I never really had to do anything. I continued to do what I was doing, but I continue to do my checkup, and I go back to him the following year.
But Kate, when did Junior tell you about that heart condition? How did you feel about it? Were you alarmed?
Well, first of all, I'll say Junior didn't really need to tell me anything, because one of the things that would happen quite often, we would be talking like we're talking now, and Junior would just go zoom, and he would fall asleep. We were talking on the phone at night, and he'd laugh the next one and say, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I fell asleep." Like, I used to think I was quite boring, because he literally just would fall asleep. But as Junior explained it to me, he has a heart murmur. He's been living with it. Junior was very active. He cycled halfway across the island quite regularly. He played football. He played cricket. You walked extensively. We both walked. He lives a vegetarian lifestyle. So he's probably one of the most healthiest people that I know. And apart from falling asleep, there was no worry. There was no concern. But then on the night of his birthday, the 12th of December 2023, he woke me up about 1:30 in the morning, which effectively was his 56th birthday.
Yeah.
And he said, "Kate, I can't breathe." Wow. And I'm like, oh, well, the only thing I could associate with that is working with children. Oh, his lungs must be filled, So I went, got out of bed, I boiled the kettle, I started steaming him, I had the hot water over, put the towel over his head and steamed him. And then when I did the patting, nothing came up. So I was like, oh. But I was coming to the end of my term, and I was absolutely shattered. And I kind of, to be honest with you, being a Christian woman, I actually just put my hand over him, and I silently kept praying the rosary. Yeah. But I fell asleep. Fast track in the morning, I said, "I'll make an appointment for you." And I rang him up and I said, "Okay." The urgent care said, "Don't worry, just come in anytime." So he was obviously, it was his birthday, and I'd organised for a few friends to come round for a barbecue. And he came home at 5:30. People are about to arrive by 7. And I said, "Did you go to the doctor today?" And Junior said, "No, I'll go tomorrow." And I said, no. So I text everybody through WhatsApp, and I said, "We're delayed by an hour, but we'll meet you at the house." And I packed him off, 6 o'clock we got out of there, put him in the car, drove him to urgent care. Said, no problem, and I'll go off and I'll get the ice and the drinks and blah, blah, blah. And now, Junior, you can take it from here, what happened at urgent care.
Got to the doctor, urgent care. I got Dr.
Gardner.
Gardner, yeah. Really nice lady, and she...
That's Dr.
said-
Kizzy Gardner.
Yeah, so I went there and I sat down in front of her, and she said, what is the problem? I said, well, couldn't breathe last night, and I don't know.
My wife's dragged me out.
And then she got angry and said, only now you're coming? Blood pressure was good, everything was good, and she said, well, go out and pay. And then I'm the one now, I become the antagonist, and I said, no, I'm not okay. I couldn't breathe last night. I thought I had water in my lungs based on what I was feeling. I just couldn't breathe. So I said, I think I have water in my lungs. Luckily, stars align again, that a tourist had an accident. I think it was a lady, she fell, and so they had the radiologist in the house that night, and he did his thing, and then the first take he was okay. So I said, what happened? He said, no, I think I need to do this over. Anyway, whatever he saw was definitely that was the case.
He actually asked you if you've been in
So
an
then
accident.
he asked me if wait, have you ever had an accident? I said, why did you ask? He said, well, I'm seeing an enlarged chest cavity.
Oh.
So I was like, okay, all right. Anyway, the result got to Dr. Gardner, and immediately she asked me to go to the other room, and she performed an EKG. And at that point, she picked up something, and she
medication.
recommended that I have a diuretic. This is now back in her office now. This is the real deal now.
She's
That
offering you.
she think, okay, all right, this is what happened. So she write up a prescription for diuretic, blood thinner, and pressure tablets.
So the diuretic is to reduce the
Yeah,
fluid
the
around
fluid,
the
yeah.
heart.
So she basically says, take these 3 tablets.
Yeah, and then I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm being stubborn, being stupid, and I'm like, no, I'm not taking any medication. And she said, you know what? Anyway, she looked in her book and she's like, Dr. Belazere is not going to be available until after Christmas.
We're now the 12th of December.
And this is 12th of
after
December.
Christmas. It's a few weeks
So
away.
she's flipping through her stuff, and again, just stars aligned. She looked and she said, wait a minute, can you make it tomorrow? 11:30? I said, yeah, sure. Got the 11:30, met with Dr. Belazere, and the rest was history.
That's when he told you
he did,
everything.
He did
You
that,
have fluid on the heart.
the echocardiogram,
Yeah.
and he said, yeah, you have a mitral valve prolapse, meaning that blood is flowing back. Your mitral valve is
It's not working.
done.
Yeah.
It's done.
Wow.
So he prescribed the 3 medicines that I refused to
That you refused to take.
Yeah, now this is the real deal now. So at this point, I'm like, okay, this is it. I have to do exactly what the doctor tells me. So he administered those, what he prescribed them. I took them, and I'm taking them on a daily basis. He basically said to me,
You need this operation.
you're going to need to do a surgery, and you will need to replace your mitral valve.
Yeah.
You have to do an operation. So again, question of insurance,
It was life or death.
and
There's no choice.
Are you insured? No.
Yeah.
You know.
I told him, well, can't get any insurance. I said, well, you know what? Maybe you should apply to medical benefit. I know of a surgeon in Martinique who is Dr. Rock, and I've sent a patient there before. So
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Over to you, Kate.
well, with the news that he needed an operation quite imminently, I think actually they told us down in Martinique that he had if he didn't have the operation, this was after the event, if he hadn't had the operation, he would be dead within a year or two maximum. So with the news of he needs an operation imminently, and knowing that he will be taking his medication, and the wife is right behind him, my first stop was medical benefits, and I was really humbled that they really did pay a significant amount towards the operation, which was a tremendous help and relief to us. However, there was an outstanding amount. This operation is not cheap, and then you have the flights, you have the accommodation, you know, he can't go on his own, I would have to come with him. It was a big step, and I know from my work at Friends of the Care Project that Calvin Ayre has always been very supportive, and I really had no choice but to reach out. And you know, thankfully yourself and Calvin Ayre and your team really were like, okay Kate, itemize everything you need, get all the doctor's reports. It was quite a journey. It was quite a journey to get the prices, and even getting in contact with the hospital in Martinique, because parlez-vous français, on est petit.
You can do a lot more than I can.
Very, very little. Calvin Ayre organised the flights, the hotel, and we got down to Martinique. Now I had to try and then get the hospital on board. Yes, we had prepaid for the operation, which was a huge amount of money. But then we had to then get the tests, and luckily in Martinique the hotel owner had some friends, and they came to our rescue. They actually picked us up at the hotel, they brought us to the hospital. They spoke fluent French and English, and they're able to say, these people are from Antigua, they are paying, and they need these tests. And he was able to really move mountains.
You had so many angels. Almost a year to the date, because we're doing this now we're filming this October 1st, 2025, so it's almost a year to the date.
Junior, you thought you would go for keyhole surgery?
I thought, excuse my ignorance, but I thought it was gonna be something
Laparoscopic.
And you know, I'm done. You know, you go in, you do this, you know, whatever, the camera goes in, and robotics and all of that, repair what it has to repair, and I'm done. But
then the anesthesiologist was the one who gave it away?
Yeah, actually. So they wheel you in, you get onto a gurney, and they wheel you into this operation room, and it's all cameras and everything. And there are two things that they could do. They could probably do it from your groin, and they could do it from your vein, either or. I actually felt when they put it in, because the pacemaker is about maybe 3 inches by 3 inches.
Yeah.
And I can actually feel when they're pushing it in. And then after that, I'm feeling the tugging, because they're sewing it back.
Oh, wow.
And I'm screaming for a good, I say, hour. I'm feeling everything. That was just...
That was horrific.
That was...
Oh, wow.
And then...
So when he came back to the room, they plug him in, and immediately everything is like bells and whistles. It was amazing. It was instant. But the first thing he said to me was, as he's kind of in and out of his anesthesia, I screamed like a pig. I felt everything. Everybody supported, rallied around, and it did come fine. Yeah. Calvin Ayre rebooked the hotel, Calvin Ayre redid the flights, Calvin Ayre looked after the secondary operation and the care. And
I must say we are extremely grateful for the kindness.
We couldn't have done it.
Outreach of
it couldn't have worked.
Your organization. Yeah. We're so grateful. It is.
We wouldn't be here today. Junior may not have been here today.
Yeah.
If anything, another year.
So it was a lifesaver, and we are so grateful.
I'm really, really happy that you guys are sitting with me today, particularly you, Junior.
Yeah, grateful. Very grateful. Thank you so much.
I know you're literally fighting for your life.
Oh yeah, it was.
All of it was worth it. All of it was worth it, and we're very happy that we were able to assist. But how are you now?
It's a miracle. I think that I had my last visit with, of course, Dr. Bellas is playing a part in this, because of course he's liaising with
he's communicating with Martinique
and all of that. One of the team from the cardiologist unit, who is like, they constantly come to see her and just said, well, when you get home you can't drive, you can't lift, pull, or push anything. I mean, that's probably like
you're feeling
you
so
can't
incapacitated now, and
anything.
So he couldn't wash himself. He couldn't dress himself.
Anything.
Oh wow!
You couldn't do
for how long?
3 months.
3 months.
Continue with your good healthy lifestyle, good healthy eating,
maybe
exercising.
that's what helped as well.
That was a big
All right.
plus.
Well, Kate and Junior, thank you so very much for sharing your story. I know it was traumatic, but it was all worth it in the end. You're still here with us. You're still here with Kate, and we're happy to have been able to speak with you.
I like the way you said yeah.
It's a genuine gesture. It wasn't anything cynical.
We have a good sense of humor, don't we?
So that's definitely. And I must say, I have to say, kudos to Kate. It's just it's such a relief to have the support that she gives. I mean, she gives herself, and the stress that she on the go. Yeah, it was big stress on her part. It was just from funding to scheduling and just name it. It's just amazing the work that she has done, and I'm so grateful.
I got good support. So again, family support, friends support.
Oh yeah,
the charity I work for, the president of the charity was fully on board supporting me. I was able to work remotely. The support I got from Calvin Ayre, like 9 o'clock at night, panic texts like, he's got to stay in hospital more, what am I going to do? Between you and Patrice and Calvin Ayre team, we couldn't have done it alone. We really could not have done it alone. And Junior's health is a standing proof of the journey that we went through. But really, like, we're laughing and we're joking, as we should always in life, but really and truly it was very serious. It was a lot of stress, but thank you.
We are grateful. We are so grateful, and we would, at some point, we would love to say, give our heartfelt gratitude in person.
Thank you, Ambassador Ayre. Thank you,
Ambassador Ayre. At some point, we would like to say,
I'm sure he'd look forward to that.
We've said our thanks to you many times.
Yes, to Patrice and the rest
we're
of my
still
team.
saying so, but at least whenever the opportunity arises, we'd like to thank him personally, and
I'll get that sorted for you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much once again, Kate and Junior, and continued blessings and continued good health.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
After months of fear, surgery, and recovery, Junior's heart now beats stronger than ever. His journey reminds us that no challenge is too great when willpower, family support, and much-needed assistance are present. Thanks to the support of the Calvin Ayre Foundation and the tremendous medical team in Martinique, Junior's story is more than a story about one man's heart, but a broader story of triumph. Thank you for joining us for this episode of InspAyre. Do join us again next time. I'm Jamila Kerwan.